In the online discourse of Euphoria, the main complaint is the excessive amount of sexual content, glorification of drug use, and it being very unrealistic. But I want to discuss the occasional mediocre filmmaking. Now, I'm not one to hate, but no one's talking about it, and people are calling this a masterpiece. And when I say it's overrated, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not a masterpiece. It's not like this incredible piece of work. It's just good. The first problem is the narration seems like a shortcut that undersells the story. Show don't tell is the basis of any good TV or film, a lot of the time, not all the time. The story should unfold without Rue signposting everything. Is it necessary for Rue to tell us that Kat really likes virgin pina coladas when we're seeing her drink a ton of them? She's constantly pointing out these pointless things that don't add anything. The best scenes of the show feature no narration, like Jules dancing and tripping out in episode 7.
To be honest, I'm not always the most reliable narrator.
As unreliable narrators go, Rue is rarely dishonest. This is a waste, since the point of an unreliable narrator is to add a layer of depth to simple narration. Aside from her lying about her lip tattoo that she got with Jules, which doesn't affect the plot in any way, Rue, to our knowledge, is honest. Now, she obviously is biased and won't admit her addiction probably stems from her father, but for the most part, she doesn't lie. However, I will admit, Rue's narration does add a little bit of character to some otherwise fairly straightforward backstories. You get a true feel for her character throughout the show, learning what she likes, what she thinks, how else she would do things. It's also what makes the show unique. The fact that the narrator is both in first person and omnipresent is a cool idea, but in practice doesn't really change much. The pacing of the cold opens feel like they're too fast. It's kinda like YouTube recaps. It gives you an overwhelming amount of details of the characters. We are spoon-fed all these details about characters we don't care about yet. Keyword yet. We will eventually care about them, but only after spending time with them. The show loves having these loud, flashy montages, but when we simply spend time with the characters, we grow to like them more. For example, Rue tells us that Jules loves her a ton of times in the narration. But in episode 3, when they're talking to each other in bed and Jules shows us that she really cares about Rue by not wanting to keep killing herself and basically giving her an ultimatum, we see that Jules actually loves Rue. While the show can tell us things, a character's actions speak louder than words. The reason I'm complaining about this is that most of the characters don't get many scenes to simply just connect with one another. Instead, Rue just tells us what to think and how we should feel about them. The main problem comes from two things. One being filler content. It's so annoying to watch characters fight for no reason just to have them make up. It's often what you see in CW high school teen dramas. I feel like this show wants to be better than that. It's trying to outdo it with every single shot, but it ultimately does some of the same things that it does. You could argue that it's realistic for high schoolers to fight over nothing, but come on, it's so unrealistic. The things Nate Jacobs do makes him seem like Batman breaking and entering some dude's house, beating the shit out of him, and then him not upgrading his security at all is just insane. And the show, instead of trying to be realistic, it plays into the fantasy elements of being a teenager and having these exaggerated teen stereotypes. Its goal is to be as imaginative as we once were when we were younger, and to show the emotions of being a teenager in a very grand and expressive manner. The second problem is that there's too many characters. So many of these characters go on their own journeys that don't go anywhere or have underwhelming payoffs. Like Cassie, she deserves a much better storyline than what we get in episode 8 of season 1. It's basically just random. But I do want to wait out for season 2 storyline to pan out because it kind of has potential. Not really. Maybe. I don't know. But the most underwhelming thing was Rue's conclusion in season 1. Like, from a writing standpoint, it makes sense, but it went so overboard with the choir and massive crowds. Like, the show was so stylized and every moment is made to be as grand as possible, so the creatives felt as if the ending needed to be bigger than all the other moments, but in reality it felt way too much. And the song, it wasn't that good. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was just fine. So what I'm trying to say is that this show hates small moments and is constantly trying to top itself. Like, why is season 2 shot on film? I don't know, it looks better than season 1. Some people are saying that it's supposed to feel like teen memories, but then why isn't season 1 shot on film? Did that season not feature any memorable points in the characters' lives? I feel like the real answer is technical. It's probably because they didn't have the budget or time to shoot on film, but I shouldn't criticize season 2 since it's not finished yet. It could pan out to really feel like memories, so who knows? At this point, it does feel pretty much like season 1. I do want to hold out judgments because hopefully it has purpose to it. I want to reiterate that this show is good and its cinematography is incredible. The characters are well written. It has incredible acting. And I know I criticized the cold opens in the beginning, but in defense of them, it does effectively and very efficiently establish the characters and allows it to have a much faster pace, and it allows it to have more storylines for more people to relate to. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Euphoria. Pretty great, but let's not go overboard. Alright, it's not a masterpiece. Hopefully it doesn't keep introducing new characters. I want them to stick with all the characters they have. They spent so much time in season 1 just setting up characters, so I want more payoffs. I want some of these arcs to go somewhere for the characters to change. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of Euphoria. Is it actually a masterpiece? Am I dumb? I would love to discuss it in the comments. Thanks for watching.